Welcome back, Crusader Kings, to the channel. I'm your liege, Soggy Dagger. Today we're diving into some advanced tactics for waging war in Crusader Kings 3, how to amass large amounts of gold through conquest, and surprisingly, how populist uprisings from vassals of different faiths and cultures can actually help you fill your coffers. Think of it as your kingdom's get-rich-quick scheme, without the scams. Whether you're a veteran monarch or a new ruler trying to make a name for yourself, these tips will give you an edge in your campaigns. Let's get into it. First up, tactics. The best way to wage war on Crusader Kings 3 is all about positioning. Forget blindly charging at the enemy, unless you're into heroic last stands, in which case go ahead, but the smarter play is positioning your military waypoint as close to the enemy's capital as possible. The quicker you can make a decisive strike towards their capital, the easier it is to gain massive head starts and war score, and sometimes even win the war altogether. Now, quick tip, capturing the capital too fast can sometimes end the war too soon, which means you might miss out on some extra loot, or more importantly, prisoners you could ransom. But hey, if you want to end the war in one glorious siege, more power to you. Just remember you might want to leave a little bit of chaos on the table for later. Trust me, the gold is worth it. Once you reach the capital, just don't stand there, lay siege. Capture their heartland not only breaks their spirit, but also gives you all the loot, prisoners, and gold you could ever want. It's like a Black Friday sale for your army, except everyone's a little less alive at the end of it. Another tactic to keep in mind is your army composition. If you got some fancy building chains that buff certain units, fueling those troops can make your army much more formidable. Your specialized units will shine like the star athletes of your medieval team, except with swords and armor. And before we move on, let's quickly talk about the importance of martial skill. If you want to truly crush your enemies, having a ruler or commander with high martial skill is a game changer. The higher your martial skill, the more effective your armies will be in both battle and siege situations. A high martial skill gives your commanders an edge in battle, improving their ability to lead troops, makes better tactical decisions, and reduces casualties. It can also shorten the duration of your sieges and increase the success rate of assaults. In short, a well-trained commander makes all the difference between a glorious victory and a costly defeat. Now, let's talk about how to line your pockets with gold while waging war. One of the easiest ways to do this is by ransoming prisoners. Whether you capture them through a battle or siege, you can ransom your way to wealth. It's like medieval eBay, but with more swords and less shipping. High-ranking prisoners, especially the ones with fancy titles, are worth a pretty penny. The more influential the prisoner, the bigger the payout. And the best part, the ransoms keep coming every time you win a battle or capture a castle. Just imagine the gold rolling in like your own personal treasure chest, except with more blood and less pirating. Speaking of castles, don't forget about those enemy holdings. Capturing enemy castles doesn't just give you a strategic advantage, it also provides some extra gold, a little pocket change while you're at it. Plus, castles are like gold mines for prisoners. If you're lucky, you might even find a noble or two in there that'll pay a big to see the light of day again. And let's not forget, if you capture a kingdom that doesn't exactly love your faith, prepare for a future uprisings from your religious vassals. Sure, it's a little bit of a headache, but hey, more uprisings means more prisoners, and more prisoners means more ransoms. It's like a passive income system, except with a lot more castles burning in the background. Here's where things get interesting. Populist uprisings. These revolts from your vassals, especially those of different faith, might seem like an annoying little inconvenience, but in reality, they're like the gift that keeps on giving. When you squash these uprisings, you'll often capture important figures, nobles who can be ransomed back for a pretty penny. And since many of these nobles come from different faiths, their families or lieges will be desperate to pay a large ransom to get them back. It's a win-win. But wait, there's more. If you've conquered lands that belong to a different culture, you'll also face uprisings from those cultural vassals. They'll throw a tantrum and try to rise up, and you'll get to profit from their misery too. Think of it like getting paid for doing your taxes. It's annoying, but it puts money in your pocket. And here's the best part. Once you crush the uprising, those rebellious vassals can't wage war against you for the next 10 years. So not only do you make a ton of gold by ransoming their prisoners, but you also get a nice, peaceful decade where they're too busy licking their wounds to try and take your throne. It's like giving your kingdom a vacation while your enemies sulk in the corner. So to recap, focus on decisive strikes towards enemy capitals and utilize well-composed armies to win wars efficiently. Just don't end the war too quickly. Capture those castles and prisoners for extra gold. Make sure you're ransoming prisoners at every opportunity, and don't forget that capturing kingdoms of a different faith or culture can trigger uprisings that help line your pocket. And once the war is over, enjoy the sweet 10 years of peace as your rebellious vassals stew in silence. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you found these tips helpful or just enjoyed hearing about the upsides of causing medieval chaos, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more Crusader Kings 3 strategies, and let me know in the comments how you've been waging your wars and filling your treasure chests. Until next time, keep your kingdom strong, your coffers full, and your enemies too broken to fight back.